Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Mystery Sports Podcast. And finally, United have won at home. It's been a long time since United have won at home, and we've. I think the last win at home was the Brighton game, which was I think was in November. So it was a long time ago since United won, like you just said. But it was a fantastic win. Man United winning 1-0 at home against Newcastle. A lot of people that I was speaking to, didn't have much faith in United and what we were going to be doing, and and I've always said that United are going to win this game. And my prediction was wrong. I thought it was going to be a 2-1 win to United. I just didn't think United were going to keep a clean sheet. But what did we do? We kept a clean sheet and we played really well, especially in that first half. Let's say not really well in terms of if you look in the stats, that sort of way, obviously it favours Newcastle. But the way that United conducted themselves, the way that they defended throughout the entirety of the game, and I just thought United looked absolutely fantastic during the game. You know, you've got just the bounce back. I think that's the main thing that United needed to show. Obviously, losing narrowly to Villa 2-1 away from home last weekend, we were upset. We thought United should have got more out of the game. We were the much better side. And it was a great bounce back to see that United came into this game, wasn't scared of Newcastle, played the football while they tried to play the football like they did. It was nervy, don't get me wrong. It was very much squeaky bum time after the 60th minute. But the bounce back was good, and to win at home, get that Christmas feeling there, and everyone's like excited. And now we just got to take the momentum and put it into Tuesday's game against Wolves at Old Trafford. And I think we do beat Wolves, and we'll come on to that later on at the end of the show in terms of what I think will be happening throughout the rest of the season. But if we just go through what are my opinions throughout the first half, second half, and etc. So United played well in the second half, in the first half, should I say. We definitely did what we needed to do in terms of getting the ball forward, putting it in the box, and creating a lot of chances. And I think we did that very well in terms of Dorgu, who I thought was our man of the match, as well as Aiden Heaven. We also did. Sorry, I'm just sorting my notes on it. Yeah. We also just we took the chance that we needed, and it was a fantastic finish, and I'll come on to that later on when we talk about Dorgu's goal. But I thought for the first 9 minutes we looked like a really good side, and obviously Ramsdale goes down. There's a bit of controversy and like, oh, why is he going down and this and that? Was it a tactical switch? And I think I know Eddie Howe has said in his uh, post-match interview it wasn't a tactical change. It clearly wasn't it, because if he didn't do that, United were probably going to probably score 2 or 3. But obviously since then, we allowed Newcastle back into the game slightly, but then Dorgu with a fantastic strike, and as the title is, Dorgu's Christmas cracker. It was absolutely fantastic. I didn't expect that to go in. Honestly, I was speechless when I just saw the ball ripple into the back of the net, and I thought, this is what United needed, just a little bit of quality, that kind of quality there from Dorgu just gave United the edge. And I think to hold on to a lead and to keep the clean sheet was fantastic. I thought Dorgu's goal, looking at it as a keeping's perspective, I thought Ramsdale could have done better, and I think he did get a strong hand onto the ball. I just thought, though, maybe because of the power of Dorgu and how he struck the ball so sweetly, and it just hit into the bottom left-hand corner. It was fantastic to see, and getting his first goal for United, fantastic for him. And I thought it was well deserved of Dorgu. I think he had a great game against Villa, obviously getting an assist, and now obviously getting his goal today against against Newcastle. It was fantastic to see. Then we go into the second half. Obviously, Mason Mount, we don't know what has happened with him, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it isn't too bad of an injury, and we do see him play against Wolves, because I think we don't need another injury, especially in terms of our midfield. But obviously, Jack Fletcher came on, and I think he had a very good game, and we'll go in the player ratings after. Um, but very, very well played from Jack Fletcher, and a lot of the subs from United, I think they did very well. Maybe Euro could have done slightly better, but I think he did overall. But like I said, we'll talk a bit more about that in the player ratings. But the second half was all about Newcastle, wasn't it? Really, you look at the stats. We were 67% possession for Newcastle, 16 shots for Newcastle. It should have been Newcastle who got they should have scored 2 goals realistically with the amount of chances they created. You know, you can look at it from a negative side from United. At home, you should never allow that to happen. But I'm thinking United have hung on to a lead here. We've got a clean sheet. Fantastic. Lemon's great game. Defensively, the three centre halves, Heaven, Martinez, and Shaw had a fantastic game. And I think they all stepped up, and I think a lot of the players did step up today. And I thought it was a very sound performance from the whole entire team, and very well played defensively. And I thought that's the main thing that we can show that when we dig in, we can keep a clean sheet and we can keep that ball from going in the back of the net. And that is a huge thing I think United need to keep improving on. And maybe this is the kind of start of us keeping more clean sheets. And it just takes me back to the first season of Ten Hag, where we won games 1-0 or 2, like we didn't concede many goals. And I thought I think De Gea won Golden Glove or whatever it's called. Yeah, De Gea did actually. Yeah, I remember that. We need to go back to kind of that thing, that style. But when you got the likes of Ahmad and Cunha, Embuemo, Shesko, Bruno, obviously when he comes back, um, United can definitely score more goals, and we do look like we're going to score more goals. So maybe that's something we need to kind of work on and go back to that kind of the first season under Ten Hag where we weren't conceding many goals and we get closer clean sheets and stuff. Because I think once we have that solid back line and defensive structure, and I think United can definitely go far. In terms of the man of the matches of the game, I'm gonna go Dorgu. It's quite hard for me, I'll be honest. I'm gonna go Dorgu for the first half and Heaven for the second half. I think Dorgu obviously fantastic goal, brilliantly well struck, and defensively again very very sound and keeping um, the Newcastle wingers. I think it was Jacob Murphy, yeah, and who else was there? I think it was what's his name, Harvey Barnes, keeping them from getting was non-existent really is in the game. I think it's fantastic to see. And then I've Heaven, just obviously clean sheet, 19-year-old, gives him confidence, clearing the ball, getting the head. His defensive headers were fantastic, and I think Aiden Heaven is a bit of criticism over in the past couple of weeks, and I think he has stepped up massively, and it's been fantastic to see, and definitely a man of match performance from here. We'll go into the player ratings. So we'll go Lemons. I'm going to give you 7. Very, very well played from him. Did what he needed to do. I know there was a couple of mistakes there where he's dropped the ball and such, but I think he had a very sound game, kept him out. When there was a few chances of the ball popping around, I think he did very well. Shaw 7. I think the whole back three, the starting back three, did a fantastic job. So I'm going to go 7 for Shaw. Heaven with an 8. I think fantastic. Like I said, in the man of the match performance. Martinez, obviously with the captain and armband, stepped up to that plate, and I think Ruben Amorim called it out in his pre-match press conference. Sorry, in his pre-match press conference, saying that it's the likes of Leaker and what's his name and Luke Shaw to step up, and I think both of them did it massively, and it was very good to see them two stepping up, and obviously keeping a clean sheet is fantastic. Delo 6, I think Delo had an okay game, didn't do amazing. Probably should have scored that a chance where he was through on goal, and it wasn't offside. Um, Dorgu 8, man of the match performance, very well. That's one of the best performances I've ever seen off Patrick Dorgu. Very well done. Ugarte 6, think he did okay. Needed to do what he did. Casemiro, obviously, only playing the first half. Not first half, sorry, only played about 60 minutes. So I'm going to give him a 6. Did what he needed to do. I thought he probably should have kept him on, and I'll go on that in a bit more. Mount 6, obviously, we don't know about his injury, and hopefully he's okay to play. Cunha 7, I think Cunha did very well. He needed to do what he did again, like pretty much all of them. Shesko 6, it wasn't the best performances from Shesko. I thought when he hit the bar in the second half before he went off in the 60th minute, he probably should have scored. He was definitely onside. There's a huge chance for Shesko. And then on to the substitutions. So obviously Fletcher coming on. I think Fletcher very well played, 7 from him. Xerxes 6, I think did what he had to do. Probably could have given him a 6.5 if I'm going to be honest. I think he did. I think I'm being a bit harsh there. Fredrickson only came on for a little bit of the game, but I'll give you a 6. Did what you needed to do. Malacia 5, did okay. Yoro 6, made a couple of errors, but I think he did very well, keeping Anthony Gordon quiet. And then overall for Ruben Amorim, I'm going to give you a 7 out of 10. I think Ruben Amorim, I question his subs, with Xerxes and Yoro coming on. Obviously, Xerxes for Shesko and Yoro for Casemiro. I thought Casemiro probably should have stayed on a bit longer, and I don't think if you have Casemiro on the pitch, I think Casemiro just controls the ball a little bit more in the possession instead of us. We didn't really have an out ball in that second half. That may be an issue to work on in the future, but I think defensively we did well, and the subs paid off, and we are now fifth in the league. So we can't really complain. Obviously, sitting fifth in the league, 29 points. Obviously, Chelsea play Villa, so hopefully we see a Villa win there. And I hope Villa do go and win big there. And well, I know it's hard, obviously, for them to go to Stamford Bridge and win big, but I hopefully we do see Villa win. I think we might see Villa win. Liverpool play Wolves, so I think there's only one outcome there, and that is definitely a Liverpool win. So they'll go ahead of us. Sunderland play Leeds. Leeds are on form, and I think Leeds might get a draw out the game, and obviously that puts Sunderland, I think, 1 point behind us. So, we might have to pray for another Christmas miracle for in terms of Wolves getting a point against Liverpool, or even trying to get a result against Liverpool. But hopefully that does happen. But if I'm being honest, I do see Liverpool just running away with that game. And then we then in terms of obviously our next game, United do play Wolves at home on Tuesday the 30th, so obviously quick turnaround for United. I think we got to make it back to back wins, no doubt about that, and we got to carry the momentum into the next game against Wolves. And I think if United can get the win on Tuesday, I think it puts us in a great position. And, I think what's most important about the game coming up against Wolves is that we keep a clean sheet, we get goals. And I think goals is the huge thing. We won 4-1 there. And I think obviously being at Old Trafford, we're going to have most of the possession. Cunha will be vital. I think hopefully Kobe Mainoo's back. I think he will be vital. Martinez will be vital. Obviously, with no Bruno, Ahmad, and then Buemo, we lack that kind of creativity. But I think this is the time for Shesko to get his goal, Xerxes to do something, Mount, hopefully he will be playing, Mount to do something, and also just Casemiro even to get on the goal sheet. We just need goals, and I think United definitely can get that. And I think that's the key thing for United is to get the goals on Tuesday. But as we look at the league table now, United sat in fifth. It's looking good. We're in, hopefully, come the end of the season, top five does mean we get Champions League like last year. Hopefully Liverpool City do well and Arsenal do well in Europe, and I think they will do well. So we can benefit off that. We Overall, though, great performance from United. Very good defensively. We might, if I'm gonna be negative, we probably don't want to be keep doing that because I think you do that like most games, against better oppositions who are more clinical up front, like City with Haaland and Villa with like the Rodgers and things like that. We lose that game. So United have got to be careful of that. But in terms of the player selections and things like that, I think it was quite hard for United to play that kind of football that we want to see, that expansive football, getting balls forward, scoring goals. But very well defensively from United. And, let's hope that United can, like I said, on Tuesday, get the win against Wolves and, build momentum and go forward into this period. And, hopefully that guy can get his haircut. We're obviously one win under the belt, four more to go. But yeah, that is everything for today's video. Thank you for watching. If you haven't, please give a like on the video and please subscribe. Be much appreciated. And yeah, we'll catch you all in a bit. Have a good evening, and whenever you watch this, have a good rest of your day. And yeah, glad United have won.